morning, dear students. You all are welcome to this video subject session of SS, where today we are going to continue our ongoing topic, which is the resources conservation. Students, forest and other vegetation covers slow the surface runoff and replenish underground water. Now, what is given here is that in forest we see trees everywhere, and trees are the protector of the water and the land because they hold the soil, and at the same time the water underground level should be maintained. So water harvesting is another method to save surface runoff. And by what you can do to save the surface runoff the water, so for that reason we need to harvest the water on the land. The canals should be properly lined to minimize losses by water seepage. The canals should be properly, the line of the canal direction should be properly in such a manner so that the minimization loss of the water should be done. Sprinklers effectively irrigate the area by checking water losses through the seepage and evaporation. And for this reason, students, the sprinklers, now in this figure I wanted to show you, this is the picture of the sprinklers, how the water is coming out. So instead of filling the whole agricultural field, the water should be sprinkled in such a way to some parts of the agricultural land, so that as a result of which we can save more and more water. Instead of focusing to the entire field, will only focus to the crops on which the water is essential. So for this reason, in dry regions with high rates of evaporation, drip or trickle irrigation is very useful. Where the regions are very dry, at that place the drip irrigation is very useful. The valuable water resource can be therefore be conserved by adopting these means of conservation. So for this, the valuable water resources should be adopted and conserved to use the conservation of the water. The next is natural vegetation and wildlife. Some school children were visiting an exhibition on handcrafts. Some of the school children like you were visiting the exhibition like handicraft, in that various items were shown, and the articles in the exhibition were collected from different parts of the country. The articles were collected from different parts, as a result of which we can get many other things. Mona picked up a bag and exclaimed, "This is a beautiful handbag." From which Mona picked up a handbag and she exclaimed that this is a very beautiful handbag. "Yes, it is made from the jute," the teacher said. "Do you see those baskets, lampshades and the chair?" The teacher said that, "Of course, it is a beautiful bag because it is made from the jute." Now students, let us understand what is the jute. Jute actually is a natural fiber which is obtained in the region of the West Bengal, in the Kolkata, and it can be grown by which we can weave the bags. And another material which is a natural, it is the bamboo. From bamboo we can make various bags, we can make baskets, we can make lamps and various other things from the baskets. So teacher exclaimed these things to them. In the eastern and the eastern humid regions of India, bamboo grows in plenty. So teacher exclaimed that in the eastern and the northern eastern areas, the bamboo grows in a plenty. And Jassi was excited to see a silk scarf. Jassi was very excited to see the silk scarf because, "See this beautiful scarf." The teacher exclaimed that silk is obtained from silkworms that are breed on mulberry trees. So what teacher was exclaiming to them, that silk scarves are the one which we can weave or which we can make from the silkworms, which we can get from the mulberry trees on which the silkworms are reared. The children understood that plants provide us with many different products that we use on day-to-day life. And the children understood that the plants provide us many things for our day-to-day needs. Natural vegetation and wildlife exist only in the narrow zone of contact between the lithosphere, hydrosphere and atmosphere, that we call biosphere. So teacher further, what does she say? The natural resources and the natural vegetation, wildlife exist only in the narrow zone. There is a zone between the atmosphere, which we can call as the lithosphere, the hydrosphere and the biosphere. and the natural vegetation always occurs on these layers of the different vegetation. Lithosphere refers to the earth, hydrosphere refers to the water, and the atmosphere refers to the air, and collectively we can call them all as a biosphere. So our biosphere, which we can say that all the living creatures, irrespective of the water animals, aquatic animals, the four-legged animal, two-legged human beings, two-legged creatures, and whatever maybe the insects, crawling insects, they always used to live on the lithosphere region only. So in the biosphere, living beings are interrelated and interdependent on each other for survival. In the biosphere, it means all the three, lithosphere, hydrosphere, and the another one was the biosphere, atmosphere, all are linked with one another. The life supporting system is known as the ecosystem. The life supporting system here is known as ecosystem. Vegetation and wildlife are valuable resources. Plants provide us with timber. How now we are going to see how all the vegetation and the wildlife resources are useful to us. So in the same way, we are getting the idea that how these are useful. Vegetation, we are getting the valuable things. Plants provide us with timber, it means the wood by which we can make the furniture items. It gives us the shelter to the animals, produce the oxygen we breathe. Okay, what we are breathing, the oxygen we are getting it from the atmosphere only. Protects soil, so essential for growing the crops. Acts as a shelter belts, help in storage of the underground water. So these are the things, students, which we can say are useful in one or the another way. Gives us fruits, nuts, latex, turpentine oil, gum, medicinal plants, and also the paper that is so essential for your studies. The book from which you are studying is only been made from this material only. So there are innumerable uses of the plants, and you can add some more. There are many uses of the plants, and you can add some more. You can add one or two, or many such things are there. Wildlife includes animals, birds, insects, as well as the aquatic life forms. So wildlife includes all these things. They provide us milk. Many people are hunting the animals for their food, so they are getting the meat. Hides and wools, insects like bees provide us the honey, help in pollination of the flowers, and have an important role to play as the decomposers in the ecosystem. So this is how these all the living creatures are helpful to us. The birds feed on insects and act as a decomposer as well. Vulture, due to its ability to feed on a dead livestock, is a scavenger and considered a vital cleanser of the environment. Here in one picture, vulture is shown. Here is the vulture. So it acts as a cleanser because whatever the dead stock of the animals, dead bodies of animals and creatures, it consumes the meat of them. So it protects the environment. So animals, big or small, all are integral to maintaining balance in the ecosystem. So all the living creatures, which we can say that are integral and maintain a balance between the one. So students, this is for today's session. In our next video session, we'll discuss more about this distribution of the natural resources. Thank you. Have a nice day to all.